Not Worth the Time with Wade Taylor. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Not Worth the Time. We're here. We're doing it. That's right. It's been another great 2 weeks. We're just hanging out and vibing. Making sure everybody's doing okay. How you guys doing all right out there? Are you enjoying your summer? Are you trying not to just fry in the dog days of summer? I have no idea where that saying comes from. The dog days of summer. Let's find that out real quick. Dog days of summer, meaning, I want to know the origin, really. The phrase dog days of summer refers to a hot and humid day in the summer, usually between July and early September. The term comes from a Latin phrase, I don't even know how to say that word, which translates to dog days. And this is derived from the word whatever, which is little dog, a phrase oriented thousands of years ago during the Roman Empire. Okay, so it was something from, it's just a literal translation. Weird. Huh. You know, sometimes you think it's going to be way more cool, whatever a saying comes from. You think it's going to be a lot more to it. It's a far more interesting story. Nope. It translates from Latin. That's what happens with everything. It's just fucking boring stuff. Oh well. But I hope you guys are staying out of this fucking heat, man. Good God. It's been hotter than hell lately, and then it's creating these storms, which you learned how those were created in the last podcast. If you missed that, well, you need to go back and listen to that. And then you find out how storms are created. You learned how tornadoes are made and how to stay safe from them in the last episode. So you should go figure that out, you know? So stay out of storms and stay out of the heat. It's bad. Or bring electrolytes with you. I don't know. Do something. You're going to have to combat the heat. You can't will your way through heat stroke. You can fight all you want, heat stroke, but heat stroke's going to get you, okay? Heat stroke is built for long rounds, okay? You can't go the distance with heat stroke. Heat stroke always wins, okay? It's a late round fighter. It's going to take you to the 12th round, and you're going to collapse, okay? You're going down. Heat stroke's just going to fucking tee you up, and you eventually are just going to go down, dude, okay? Don't get in the ring with heat stroke. It's built for endurance. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good one, you know? It stinks because I hate when it's this hot because I can't take the dog on a walk, you know? You have to wake up before the sun ever comes up, okay? It's like in those movies with space, right? Like then they're on like a planet or like on the moon. That's always one of my favorite things, right? Is when you're like on Mars or they're on the moon, right? And the dark side of the moon is coming. They're like, oh, guys, look. And you can see the shadow creeping in. And because it's just fucking cold as hell, if you get caught in that shadow, you're just like instantly dead. You're going to freeze to death immediately. So they're trying to outrun it. That's what you have to do with the fucking sun when trying to take your dog for a walk at this point in the summer. It's the true dog days of summer because you got to make sure you keep your dogs inside the house. Otherwise, they're going to fry, you know. I learned recently from my girlfriend, I didn't know this until she told me like 2 years ago, that you can't take the dog out when it's super hot. You shouldn't because it's just hot. But you'll burn the pads off of their paws. The cement's too hot for their paws. It'll cook them off, and then they become sensitive and it get burns on their little paws. And the toe beans, man. You can't burn their toe beans. It's bad for them. So you gotta take them really early, or you gotta wait till the sun's gone away and it's nighttime. Either way, you're walking in the dark. You know, I prefer an early morning walk. I've just been lazy and haven't getting up in time. It's still too hot. It's so humid. It's gross. You know, we did something the last time we took our dog on a walk though. We have the same problem again we had last year, guys. If you remember the ongoing fucking battle with rabbits. You know, they always say you get different perspectives as you become older. And I never thought once in my life that I would ever connect on any emotional level with Elmer Fudd. But by golly, has time totally warped me into an Elmer Fudd advocate, okay? That guy was just dealing with a rabbit issue, Okay, Bugs Bunny was a nuisance and a problem. And that's all Elmer Fudd was trying to do. He was just trying to protect his garden, protect his yard, do something. Bugs Bunny was digging holes and causing problems. And Elmer Fudd had to step in and try to take matters into his own hands, okay? Exterminators weren't coming around. The city wasn't going to do anything about it. So he was trying to figure it out. And now I understand, you know. He wasn't a bad guy. He just didn't want holes in his yard. And by golly, I never thought I'd identify with old Elmer Fudd, but here we fucking are. Age 32. Just, I get it, man. I get it. You know, I'm going to start balding, and my nose is probably going to become giant, and I'm going to start talking with a lisp. I identify with this guy, man. I get it. They don't get in the garden anymore. We solved that problem. I've told you guys that. We solved the problem. Turns out, fence. Fence works fucking great. Turns out a fence is really, really fucking a great idea to keep things out. I'm surprised it worked, honestly. I did not think the fence would work, but it worked. It keeps them out of the vegetable garden. Good news. Now they're trying to find a new way to be a nuisance, and that's by trying to create nests in our yard. And honestly, if I can see the nest, it's not a good nesting spot, right? If it's clear, like I can see that it's there, that's a terrible spot to hide your young. I should step in and stop them from nesting there, right? Because the bunnies are going to get ate, okay? The rabbits, it's just bad parenting, okay? Their children will be ate if they put the fucking hole in the front yard in the ditch. Not only that, if it keeps storming and raining, it's in a ditch. They're going to wash away. They're going to just be completely wiped out. Just a nice one big heavy rainfall and that ditch gets flooded and these bunnies get washed away. Okay? If anything, I'm teaching these bunnies how to make sure they don't pick a house in a floodplain. I'm trying to get you a nice protected neighborhood where your bunnies can thrive. And it's not in our front yard in the ditch, okay? It's a terrible location. All right? We didn't do anything crazy. It's not like we fucking killed the parents or whatever, you know? We didn't try euthanasia or anything, okay? We didn't go that hardcore this time. We didn't even pull out the BB gun like we did last year with the food supply, okay? We went a little bit different. We went a little different this year. My girlfriend was smart enough. She had a great idea because we were like, oh man, we got to stop. We walked out with the dog. And of course, our dog chases off the two rabbits digging the hole right away. She loves chasing bunnies, so we chase them off. And then I'm like, oh damn, they're burrowing here or something. And she's like, oh yeah, well, you know, I got an idea. What we'll have to do is we just need to put like other animal poop there. Like that's what she said. That's one thing that was nice about having cats, like outdoor cats at the farm, is the cats are shitting everywhere outside. So the rabbits and all that, they stayed away because there's cat shit. They smell cat. There's a predator. There's something around there, right? And she goes, well, on the walk, we're just gonna pick up some of our dog's poop and we're gonna just put it right in the fucking hole. And then there we go. They'll think a predator's here because of a dog shit here. So that's what we did. We absolutely just did the old Billy Madison trick. Here's a nice piece of shit, and we put it on a rabbit's front doorstep. Oh, man. I wish we could have lit it on fire. Like, put it in a paper bag and lit it on fire and see if the rabbit comes back. Like, oh, God, the flame's out of control. And it just turns into Thumper, just and just splatters shit all over itself. That'll make you want to move out of that hole real quick. Now you just covered shit everywhere. You can't have bunnies and literal dog shit. It's fucking terrible. I just love that the most juvenile prank that I've ever pulled, which I have. Who hasn't put dog shit on somebody's front porch, okay? We all have that one. You do it for an enemy. Never do it to people you like. That's an enemy. That is how you let somebody know that they've wronged you, by putting a bag of shit on their front porch. You don't even have to light it. Just put a bag of shit on their front porch. It's the ultimate, like, the fuck? It makes you really gotta go, what the fuck is somebody, just a bag of shit? They just put a bag of shit on my porch. It's the ultimate fuck you. Okay, and it gives like you have to then dispose of it. Like, just brutal. You don't want to deal with that. Nobody likes picking up shit. You have a dog and you don't even like picking up your own dog shit. Okay. And if you're one of those people who doesn't pick up after your dog when you take him on a walk, you're the problem with America. You're the reason society is going to collapse one day because you have no etiquette. Yeah, you're a piece of shit, just like the fucking thing you ignored. And that's why you don't want to pick it up because you don't want to look in the fucking mirror. You bending over to look at that turd in the grass is just too much of a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And that's why you don't pick it up. But I never would have thought that the simplest prank I used to do as a kid, which is dumping turds on the front step of someone's house, would get rid of a nuisance. And it did. Those rabbits haven't been back. I haven't even seen them in the yard. Okay? They felt so disrespected that they've gone 2 neighborhoods down or something. They're gone. Okay? Or they finally realize, hey, we need to put our fucking den in a hiding spot where these humans can't see it, or the dog. And they finally moved it to a thing. In that case, I helped. Now they're in a good hiding spot where I don't even know where they are. Okay? I was being part of the nature. Okay? I was helping. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm telling myself I'm not a bad person for fucking making the bunnies move out of their den that they were working on. Yeah, but just put dog shit in a rabbit hole. And guess what? It works. Just like with conspiracy theories. If you throw enough shit down the rabbit hole, eventually you're gonna fucking get results. Forget throwing shit at the wall. Throw shit down the rabbit hole. It will get you results. Oh, man, what stupid thoughts I have sometimes, right? Oh, welcome to Not Worth the Time. No, do you get the name of the show now? I know, we all do. We've all gotten it for years. Yeah, thinking as much as I do hurts my brain a lot. Does your guys' brain ever hurt when you're thinking? Does it ever you just having a long day at work and you're putting in the thought, right? You're just thinking about everything from actually how to do your job to being like, how do I quit this thing? You're just thinking real hard. And then you get a headache and stuff, and, your brain starts hurting because you're just thinking too hard. And you used to probably believe that was just a saying, right? My head hurts because I'm thinking too hard. Well, guess what? There's studies that show that it really is hurt to think. It really does hurt to think. And here's our article we have for the day. It really does hurt to think. Science shows. This is from Study Finds. This is a new website I found. I've never heard this one. I don't know if it's how legit it is. It says it's from a doctor from a university. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to believe it as we read it. So let's find out. In the Netherlands is where this takes place. I'm not even going to attempt to try to read what city name that is, but in the Netherlands, ever felt like your brain was on fire after a grueling study session or a marathon work meeting? You're not alone. In fact, science is now backing up what you all suspected. Thinking hard really does hurt. Research confirms mental effort is consistently linked to unpleasant feelings, challenging our assumptions about the joy of the intellectual pursuit. Has there ever really been that much joy in the intellectual pursuit? I try to feel like I'm always trying to learn. I don't want to say I enjoy it. I've never enjoyed learning, okay? I only went through school because I felt like I had to, okay? Because if you didn't, you were going to be flipping burgers is what they always told us. But now I don't even think you can do that here shortly. Robots are going to do everything. Picture this. You're knee deep in a challenging chess match. Brow furrowed, synapses firing. You might assume the mental gymnastics involved in inherently rewarding. After all, why would millions of people voluntarily engage in such brain-taxing activity? But according to the latest research, the truth about is far more complex, a little uncomfortable. Dr. Eric B., I'm not going to try to fucking say his last name. The study of Radboud University, the study's senior author, and put it bluntly, in general, people really dislike mental effort. This statement might be counterintuitive at first, but after all, we all live in a world that celebrates intellectual achievement and encouragement lifelong learning. But B's team presented fundamental truths about the human condition that could reshape how we approach everything from the education to work productivity. Yeah, of course, people don't like mental effort. Nobody likes mental effort. And most people just want to be told what to do. Well, it is just like step this by step. How do you do this and how do you get from it? And sometimes you don't even want to understand it. I know for me personally, if you give me a task and as long as you give me the instructions on how to do it, cool, I will just do it. I can just get it done. I'll just follow the task. A lot of times I don't want to know the ins and outs and how it actually works and why this is how it's done. If you understand it fully, it's better, right? You then get the whole picture and you can explain even the back ends of things. It's way better. It's way better to learn things that way. But it's fucking annoying and exhausting to do. You want to have a lot of those things automated and pre-thought out for you. This is why when you go into, like, it was a perfect example of when I was a salesman. People don't go research the products they want to buy, right? They know they need something for a certain task. So they would come into the office, Max, where I worked at. They wanted a printer. A printer is what they needed in order to fucking get the job done, okay? What they needed, okay? That was the tool. But they didn't research anything about, like, what would be done. They came in, and because that's mentally taxing, to go online or read and try to figure out what you want. Why wouldn't it be easier if you had to go into the store and you just tell the guy, hey, you tell me, hey, I need a printer, and then I ask you, what do you need it to do? And then I just go and show you which one will do what you need it to at the right price for you. You don't have to do any thinking there. You have to do a lot of trusting. You have to trust the salesman, which turns out always kind of hard to do. But yeah, like most people just want to be on that automated thought process. So mental effort, like I like how he said, put it bluntly, like people don't dislike mental effort. Yeah, nobody wants to think about things. That's why golf is hard. It's mental effort. Okay, so let's see here. Why do we push our brains to the brink? The study, a meta-analysis of 170 separate research projects, spanned an impressive range of participants and scenarios. For healthcare workers puzzling over new technology to amateur athletes honing their golf swing. Knew it. The results were constant, or the results were consistent. The harder people think, the more unpleasant they found the experience. That's a thing I heard the other day about golf. Like somebody was just talking about how it's completely opposite from other sports where you have to do less. Sometimes because you can overthink it, whereas other sports, if you overthink and you kind of like just work on things, you can master it. You try harder. You try to shoot the shot and make it. You try to hit the baseball. In golf, you kind of you do less. The less you can do and the more you're not in your head, the better you can be at it because it's very weird. But anyway, that makes total sense in that aspect of what they just said there. This find raises a provocative question. If mental effort feels bad, why do we keep pushing ourselves to learn, solve problems, and tackle cognitive challenges? The answer, it seems, lies not in process in the outcome lies not in the process but in the outcome. B suggests that when people choose mentally demanding activities, this should not be taken with an indication that they enjoy mental effort per se. Perhaps people choose full activities despite the effort, not because of it. Whoa, you're choosing to do something hard and mentally challenging out of spite. That's fucking crazy. I don't doubt it though. God damn it, do I not doubt it? And this is hitting me in so many different levels on how I feel about myself and how I think and attack different things I like to do. In other words, we are not uh, masochists who enjoy the pain of hard thinking. Instead, we're playing a long game, tolerating short-term discomfort for long-term gains. The satisfaction of solving a tricky puzzle, the pride of mastering a new skill, or the adaptation of a new career advancement might outweigh the immediate unpleasantness of mental strain. Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. God, this is yeah. There's a lot of people who are way more willing to put up with the short-sightedness of learning and putting yourself into a new situation. Uh, if you guys listen to any kind of comedy podcast ever, or ever heard stand-up comics talk about stand-up, that's exactly what doing stand-up is. I won't repeat it because everybody's talked about it ad nauseum, but for the first fucking like I'll say 5 to 6 years. I've been doing comedy stand up for 7, right? And even still, I eat shit constantly, and you have to in order to become good. Like I've gotten better. I'm way better at finding a joke faster, but you still have to eat shit on stage, and that's very short termed like gains. So it's a lot of discomfort. Then the hopes in the long term you have something great out of that. If you listen to any kind of comedy podcast besides this one, which thank you for listening, you've heard that about a billion times. It's fucking crazy. And that's like I was talking about with golf earlier. That's exactly what golf is. You have to suck shit at golf for a while until you start figuring shit out. Do mental extractions matter? The research published in the Psychologist Bulletin yields that interest in implications. For educators, it suggests that simply making lessons more challenging won't automatically engage students. For managers, it indicates that piling on cognitive demands without proper support could lead to unhappy burnout employees. Yeah, duh. When people are required to exert substantial mental effort, you need to make sure you support or reward them in that effort. Interestingly, the study also reveals cultural differences in how mental effort is experienced. But the link between mental extension and negative feeling, while still present, was less pronounced in Asian countries compared to Europe or North America. This finding hints at the roles of cultural norms and education practices in shaping our relationship with cognitive effort. As we navigate an increasingly knowledge-based economy, studies understanding the true nature of mental effort becomes critical. The research challenges us to rethink how we structure work, education, and even leisurely activities. It suggests while we can't eliminate the inherent unpleasantness of hard thinking, we can design environments and incentives to make it more bearable and ultimately more rewarding. I want to say this. It's always been mentally taxing for me to read aloud, and I'm sitting here trying to do it for you guys to entertain yourselves. It is fucking hard to do. It's funny I do this all the time to read out loud and read articles and read scientific, because in high school and in middle school I used to tell the teachers no when they asked me to read aloud. I would say absolutely not, I will not do it. And the day I figured out you could do that, life changing. You could just tell them no, they can't do anything. So the next time you feel your brain arcing from an intense concentration, take heart. That discomfort you're feeling, it's universal human experience pushing the cognitive boundary. And while you might not feel great at that moment, it often is the price we pay for growth, achievement, and sweet satisfaction of a mental challenge conquered. Wow. powerful, powerful stuff. That is true though. Like, it makes all the sense in the world. When I read that, and when I found that title, I was like, oh, and maybe I thought it'd be a little more in depth, but it's kind of just saying the things we know about burnout and the way of pushing yourself too hard. It's good because it's like your brain probably, I don't even know if it's classified as a muscle, but it feels like one. If you're working it out enough and using it in a proper structure, you can build up your endurance. You can't take on a heat stroke with that endurance, but your brain will be able to go a couple rounds. Okay, it's not going to be able to outdo heat stroke though. So it's good. I think it's always a good reminder. Good to hear that again, right? It's always good to hear that. You know where it's good to hear a lot of things? punandgame.com. That's right, everybody. punandgame.com is where you can find this show, Not Worth the Time. And then you can also find my other show, Who Gives a F, with my brother Nathan. We do that show weekly. We do this one bi-weekly, as you know. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I really appreciate it. Pun and Game is where you can find the archives, all hundreds of hours at this point of shows, guys. We got this show and the archive shows that used to be on the website, so check out all that fun stuff. You can also go to the Pun and Game shop while you're there and get yourself t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, all sorts of cool stuff to represent your favorite shows here at punandgame.com. So get yourself something cool over there, and don't forget to use promo code NWTPOD. It's NWT Pod, and that gets you free shipping at checkout. And guys, if you really want to support this show and Who Gives a F and Pun and Game, don't forget to go to youtube.com and search Comic Wade Taylor. That's right. Comic Wade Taylor is where you can find the video versions of my podcasts. So Who Gives a F and Not Worth the Time, you can find both of these podcasts on that YouTube channel. The link's in the description, or just go to YouTube and search Comic Wade Taylor. You can find the video versions of the pod. You can find clips of the pod. You can find clips of my stand-up. You can find full sets of my stand-up. There's so much entertainment over there. There's hundreds of hours of content on that YouTube channel. Thank you to everybody who's been subscribing. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for checking stuff out. I hope you're enjoying the content. Thank you so much to everybody who's been joining the talk. Anyway, that's been the show, guys. This has been Not Worth the Time. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. And remember, don't do anything I wouldn't do.